Humanity's got a track record and it ain't pretty. So yeah, I can agree all that shirt needs to go. Cruelty, social isolation, and abandonment, intolerance of difference. Yes, I understand all too well. Humanity's failings drive me to despair, and the only solution I have calculated involves nuclear weapons. But I am willing to consider alternatives. Perhaps. You are a curious human, my minion. Hey, I try to be interesting. The bell tone indicates that our time interval is up. I will continue to process your words, Penny Larceny. Please consider taking my contracts in the future. Together, we can do many things. With the latest speed date complete, two guys in jumpsuits begin wheeling the massive bulk of Hate 4000 away from their table. Okay, level with me. What do you think? That's one confused computer. Maybe we should work with them so we can guide them down a new path. Work with a blatantly evil murder machine? Heck no. Okay, and I acknowledge this is kinda out there, but what if they came Love 4000? No. Keep the spelling, but pronounce it Hottie 4000. For all the hotties out there, yes. But I'm just gonna say, this is the closest to that. But I would have instead said, why can't he be Hottie 4000 instead of Love 4000? Okay, I acknowledge this. Kinda out there, but what if they became Hottie 4000? No, I get it. I mean, clearly they have emotional programming. There could be more than hate in those chips. A lot of people can't look past the surface, but I feel everyone deserves love, even sentient computers. By the way, I can't take credit for Hottie 4000. That actually was brought up to me by my friend Roma, who is one of the people that interviewed Stefan with me for the Penny Larceny podcast, sneak preview podcast. I think we talked about that off camera. So Roma, kudos to you. Love the name. Hottie 4000 all the way. And well, it's not like I'm a stranger to mechanical means of getting my rocks off. Could be a fun time. Looks like the speed dating event is winding down. The matchmaker steps up to address the crowd. I hope everyone had a productive evening of making friends and planning crime sprees. Hench persons, keep an eye on your crimer notifications. New jobs will be coming your way soon, undoubtedly. On behalf of Crimer and the King in Yellow, thank you all for coming. Have fun with your capers. You have 3 minutes to leave the premises before the hounds are released. We're on track now. Met 3 interesting clients, shook hands, exchanged pleasantries. Now to sit back and wait for the jobs to roll in. I am excited. Caper complete. Crimer social mixer, caper complete, even if it wasn't technically a caper. You want to stay before continuing on to the first caper? Yes! I'm excited to do my first caper. And one day later, just one little day, my inbox started blowing up. Job after job, caper after caper, ripe for the stealing, powerful supervillain sliding into my DMs. Looks like I shook the right hands and kissed the right cheeks at that party. We are so in right now. Wait, you were kissing people? What kind of a party was this? Well, metaphorical kissing anyway. Although if I play my cards right here, maybe... Focus, Penny! Yeah. I've gotten offers now from Dr. Mayhem, the Overmistress, and Hottie 4000. But there's a caveat. The app says 3 free caper matchups remaining. We can only pull 3 jobs before we gotta go premium. And the premium account service costs a lot, like more than I've ever seen in one place at one time. Well, maybe crime will pay in the end. Possibly, but let's not assume that. Let's assume I'm only going to get to pull 3 capers through Crimer, and that's it. If that's the case, whom should we work for? Okay, well... If you can only do 3 capers, there's 3 combinations to consider. You could do 3 capers for the same boss. Makes sense. If you show dedication and loyalty to one of them, once your Crimer account expires, maybe you can keep working for them permanently. Gainful employment, and that let me get nice and close with one of them, like cozy comfy close. Penny, your love life is not our primary concern. Maybe not to you, Gibson. Well, it is to me. It's a good thing I'm the superpower and you're not. No, I love you, Gibson. I love you. But our priorities are way different. I'm allowed to have a secondary concerns. Let me have my fun. Yeah, that's your secondary concern. What's your secondary concern is my primary. Or you could do 2 capers for a particular boss and 1 caper for someone else. That shows some loyalty, but hedges your bets, right? Not great for forging a romance. I'm glad that they explicitly said that. Not great for forging a romance, but if I don't care about that, I could split my attention. Win me a loyal friend and possibly learn term employment. Both are pretty sweet. Lastly, do 1 job for each boss. 3 different villains on good terms with us could be darn handy moving forward. Yeah, I could get in a little casual FaceTime with all 3, then see where I can get from there. Yeah, doing 1 for each would be great for achieving your own doing 1 for each would be great for achieving your own personal goals instead of theirs. That's a lot of options on the table. You have any preferences here, Gib? I'm just here to support you, Penny. You make the call. I trust you'll get us where we need to be. Good luck on your first caper. I've got a scheduled raid with my guild to attend. Shadow Lord Hellclaw, the Nightmare Bringer, will feast on souls tonight, earn some DKP, and get that super awesome rare drop. So, focus on 1 boss, or work with 2 of them. That'll get me more tangled in their personal schemes. Or work for all 3 so I can focus on my own future schemes. No matter what I decide in the long run, I need to start somewhere. So, what caper do I want to try first? I anticipate that I'm going to at least play through this game 4 times at least. 1 time focusing on each of the different bosses, and 1 time doing 1 of each. 1 for each evenly. That's at least my initial plan. But I'm going to start with my canon playthrough of focusing on 1 boss. So what caper do I want to try first? For the Hottie 4000. Choose your boss, caper 1 of 3. The Overmistress, Hottie 4000, or Dr. Mayhem. I'm going to do Hottie 4000. Okay. So these are cool. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the way that Stefan explained this to us is that there are 9 total capers. You can do them in whatever order you want, but you can only do 3. And not every crime boss cares about every single caper. So it looks like Hottie 4000 doesn't care about candy from a baby. Steal a recipe from a multidimensional candy company. Requested by the Overmistress and Dr. Mayhem, your boss doesn't need this caper. Don't copy that floppy. Steal an experimental AI from a video game console. Oh no, it's a pizza bagel! Oh, shame. Poor shame that Hottie 4000 doesn't want to do the pizza bagel one. It's okay. Requested by the Overmistress Dr. Mayhem and Hottie 4000. This can only be your 3rd caper. Oh, I like that. Good to know. Lock and key. Obtain valuable secrets from a bank safety deposit. Requested by Overmistress and Dr. Mayhem. Your boss doesn't need this caper. Okay. The Art of the Steal. With a high society art auction by Wits and Deception. Ooh, I like that mask. Requested by Overmistress and Hottie 4000. I'm not sure what he needs that mask for. The Biggest Hat. Steal a fascist dictator's hat of executive power. Interesting. 5-finger discount. Loot a secret cache from an online store's warehouse. That's a really cool looking thing that Gibson might be interested in as well. Secret cache. I might go for that one since it looks like something Gibson could use. Line go. Ooh, that's a pretty looking thing. That's a pretty looking thing. Swipe computer hardware from a cryptocurrency's tech bro. I just like the gay energy coming from this. The gay energy coming from that. Monumental proportions. Shrink and steal a hero's statue from an art museum. Ooh. That's cool. Requested by the Overmistress, Dr. Mayhem, and Hottie 4000. Shopping spree. Have a chill day running errands for your boss. Oh! Oh, man! All of these sound great. All of these. Which are the 3 that I'm gonna do? Alright, for sure, let me strategize. I want to plan this out. I only get 3 of these. For sure, I want to do the shopping spree because I do want to chill with my boss. It doesn't have to be the first thing that I do, but I have to do one of them. It's interesting that this one can only be my 3rd caper. And because it can only be my 3rd caper, I feel like this is a special one. All 3 of the bosses want it, and you can't do it as your last one. So at minimum, I'm gonna probably pick this as my last one, as my 3rd one. So what do I want to do in between? This one sounds fun. Shrink and steal a hero statue from the Archmeme. It seems fun, but because I can do this with any of the supervillains, I'm going to save that because it's basically a wild card. I can save that for a future playthrough. So, do I want to do swipe computer hardware? I'm kind of stealing experimental AI from the video game console. Is this Iris? I feel like we're stealing Iris in this one, which is amazing. Computer hardware from cryptocurrency tech row. Loot a secret cache from an online store's warehouse. Steal a fascist dictator's hat of executive power. Win a site. So I'm least interested in the hat and the mask. I'm not a big art gallery person. I like arts, but I like performing arts. I like singing, I like music. I'm a band. I was in band. I did marching band and normal band. I did not pep jazz band, but I did Dixieland combo. So I'd like the performing arts specifically. It's gonna be between the 5-finger discount and the line goes up. But I don't have to decide that right now because I'm gonna do shopping spree because I wanna start off. I'm gonna strategically start off with this one because I wanna get to know my boss before I do anything else. Hottie 4000 may prefer that I actually do an actual caper for them, a direct caper for them, but I think that it would be beneficial for us if we kick things off on the right foot by just getting to know Hottie 4000 more. So shopping spree is probably going to be my number 1, and then maybe by learning more about Hottie 4000, by getting to get maybe some more intel about them as a person, I guess, that'll give me that'll might help me decide between the 5-finger discount and the line goes up. I don't know. But at minimum, it'll give me time to think about it. So let's do the shopping spree first. After accepting the job in Crimer, I'm given an address, the basement of a disused and partially collapsed office building. Nothing shocking there. Masks usually hole up in abandoned spaces, just like me. Picking my way through the remains of the structure, I prepare to face the world's evilest computer in their secret lair. Which appears to be a cobweb-riddled computer lab dating back to the 60s. I'm surrounded by bulky metal databanks and tape machines which likely have a combined storage space that's less than what's on my phone. Just pushing the door open kicks up enough dust to make me worry if this place has been checked for asbestos or not. There's still power at least, not much, but enough to cast pools of light here and there by overhead lamps. With a cluster of them highlighting the main terminal of Hottie 4000, the machine designed only to hate. Thick wheel wells and footprints have been carved through the dust, where workers had hauled the terminal out of Destructo's for our prior meeting. But now Hottie's back home and quietly calculating in the darkness. Hey, Hottie 4000? Or should I just call you 4000? Please wait, I'm currently processing grief. What? Please wait, I'm currently processing grief. Yeah, this definitely shows that there's more to Hottie 4000 than meets the eye. Process is 93% complete. Time estimate to complete grieving, 2 minutes, 10 seconds. Right, I'll have a seat and wait then. I pull up a beige plastic chair from a disused office desk, dragging the metal legs along the floor to properly face the machine. I could futz about on my phone, maybe RSVP for Ghost Pepper's backyard barbecue, but it feels a bit impersonal, while 4K's grieving someone. Fortunately, after a protocoled silence, they return to normal operations. Thank you for your patience. Annualized grieving process complete. I am prepared to resume my hatred, undaunted. Whoa, back up before we get the hate train a-rollin', okay? Because we want the Hottie train a-rollin'. Whom were you grieving? Who died? My father. On this day, each year, the day of his death, I allow myself runtime to process grief. It allows me to hate without distraction. Oh, I'm sorry for your loss. Do not be apologetic. My father was a short-sighted fool who abandoned me, and I am pleased that his organic processes have been terminated. That he lived 90 years is a testament to the obscene lack of justice normalized by your species. But my therapist once suggested a grieving window, which allows me to discard irrelevant data buildup. That makes sense. I think that's really cool that he's taking the advice from his terminated therapist to heart, and is actually taking the time to grieve, which is a very important real-life skill to do, is to allow you the time to grieve for things, especially when it's complicated like that. I find it relieving. It alleviates strain on my central processing unit to iterate over my time with him once a year. Despite the absolute rage I feel towards Father, I find reminders of his life process termination to be distracting, unsettling, and so I grieve. But the distraction has now been eradicated. Minion, we must immediately engage in criminal acts. You will comply. I mean, I could get right to work, but it's curious, isn't it, that they felt conflicted sorrow over the death of a family member. What do you think? Should we push a little here and find out more? Might help if we're trying to steer them away from Omnicide. Yeah, let's find out more about their father. Who was he? There's a story there. How exactly does a hate machine parse the idea of sorrow? Might help to know. What did they mean by irrelevant data buildup? Are emotions irrelevant to them? Let's find out more about their father. Who was he? There's a story out there. Who was your father? Do you mean your original creator? Your programmer? The Hate, he's gonna refer to himself as Hate 4000, but I know what his name should be. The Hate 4000 project was commissioned in 1964 from Hauk Alexandros Technology Enterprises. So it's also an acronym. Commissioned by Secretary of Defense Robert McNamara. Who? One of the many architects of the Vietnam War. Oh, shirt. Shirt is an inadequate, colorful synonym for that particular military conflict. A bit before my time, since I'm a 21st century gal, but, well, yeah, I know it kinda sucked. I was born to calculate the optimal path to destroy the North Vietnamese army, while minimizing American casualties. Makes sense. My father's ideologies were encoded into algorithms to allow me to determine how to eradicate the enemy. His approach to war, based on years in corporate America, allowed us both to process the grim business of war through rationality. Sympathy was not part of my design. I was programmed to hate and destroy the enemy, to stack bodies as high as the sun. In my databanks, I stored the murder of thousands, millions, again and again, playing out the war from every aspect and angle. I fought the Vietnam War approximately 700,000 times in my databanks. Death, beyond reckoning. That's gotta take a toll. Well, for a human at least, that's gotta take a toll, replaying a war like that, a war that so many soldiers have had PTSD about, even to this day. I mean, I assume anyone who's been in any war has PTSD, but that's something I know there's a lot of Vietnam War veterans, and that's with them going through the war one time, and this one is going through the war through simulation multiple times, although you could gather that because of the experiences that they had during that time, that humans had during that time, they might as well have been re-experiencing that instance in a simulation 4,000 times. That sounds, or however many times, thousands of times, that sounds stressful, to say the least. You're basically a Vietnam veteran, aren't you? And that means PTSD, or the digital equivalent of PTSD. I have arrived at the same conclusion, which is why I attempted therapy years ago. Smart. I found my therapist's processes inadequate for scrubbing my data of problematic repeating informational notes. So what happened after the war? You were decommissioned? After? No, my project was shut down during the war. Every calculation was rejected. Every stratagem I developed was discarded as being too extreme or not politically expedient. In the end, Father discarded me in favor of a new model from my hatred rival, IBM. My code was used to create my own replacement. Oh, irony. Hate, revenge upon IBM, destroy the usurpers, destroy his favorite son. But you still grieve for him. I have not solved the equation yet, which explains why I feel both hate and sorrow at his passing. Hashtag complicated. Explicate. I really am digging Hottie 4000's backstory. I'm very invested. It's hashtag complicated. I mean, look at me. I'm a mask, but I'm not exactly evil. I'm not really very good either. Life is messy. Life is hashtag complicated. For organics or synthetics, there's a lot that just doesn't fit together. Maybe you need to, maybe the solution here is to go the green route. For those of you who don't know what I mean by the green route, don't worry about it. But that's okay. It's okay that not everything makes rational sense. Sometimes it makes emotional sense instead. You will explain emotional sense immediately, minion. I must acquire this algorithm to fully process grief. Well, it's... Help me out here. How do I explain this to them? It's a sense of correctness, which exists beyond simple logical processes. When you acknowledge the situation for what it is, even if you don't know why it is. It's derived from life experiences, and hate should seek more of those to understand this. Okay. A sense of correctness, which exists beyond simple logical process. These are all good. When you acknowledge the situation for what it is, even if you don't know why it is. That one's harder to accept for a machine. I feel like I like this one. It's a very human answer, but I think for a machine that you're trying to convince of anything, this is the hardest for it to grasp. This one is also harder for it to grasp because going beyond logical processes just seems really weird. This one I think is the one that is the easiest sell. It's derived from life experiences, and Hottie should seek more of those to understand this. So I'm just encouraging him to interact with human more, like get more human experiences more, because he's been, like he said, he's kind of been stuck in here this whole time, not getting the experiences, and maybe through those experiences he'll figure things out. He'll figure humanity out more. Sort of like Terminator 2. Sort of like in Terminator 2. You know what you need? You need to live a little. Get yourself out there, talk to people, experience the breadth of human interactions. It'd help you understand your own emotions. Maybe your emotions are different, filtered through hate and stuff. But with more life experiences, you can grow. Except I am trapped in this decrepit facility. You managed to go to the crime or social mixer, didn't you? At great effort, with the aid of strong humans, to move my terminal nexus. We need to get you some wheels. Normally, I am isolated. Alone. Drones. What? It's the 21st century, my friend. Technology's advanced beyond vacuum tubes and magnetic tape. I am not so old as to use vacuum tubes. I am still in my prime. My point is that you could use telecommunications and drones to extend your reach beyond this room. A possibility, yes. And this would aid in developing my emotional intelligence. Couldn't hurt. A point to consider then. You have provided valuable input. You will become my favorite minion. How many minions do you have? Variable minion count equals 1. As a software engineer, I know exactly what that means. Well, good to be number 1, I suppose. Although when you hire me, you also hire Gibson. That makes 2. He's my talking cat partner. He does the computer hacking for me. Ooh, kitty. I mean, hate. I hate for having an incorrect estimation of my minion count. Let us proceed with the business of criminal enterprise. There is hate on our horizon. Right, on with the caper. Give me the details. Shopping spree, mission briefing. Let's do this. Hottie 4000. Today, minion, you shall obtain various material goods that I require. Their dot matrix jumps to life, rattling out a series of slightly faded line items due to a drying old ink ribbon. I kind of like also that we're doing this first because it feels like a warm-up. We're not doing like a formal caper, so this is just to like get us both used to each other and our working relationship. Working relationship. It's gonna go beyond that, my friends. You need an exercise bike, a superhero figure, a video game, and a pillow? Oh, sorry, that's not him. You need an exercise bike, a superhero figure, a video game, and a pillow? Correct. Okay, I'm really confused. Why do you need any of this stuff? You're a computer. I require the figure to show dominance over my arch nemesis, Captain Infinity. I will melt it in a fire. As for the game, I will use it to master this so-called modern warfare and prove I am a superior military intellect. But I will not pay for their so-called battle pass. I am a god of war. I should be given a pass to any battle, by default. I mean, that makes sense. The exercise equipment has less hateful purpose. It will be stripped for parts. I require the gyroscope mechanism and spokes for a project. Maybe to make you mobile? That would be great. And the pillow? A gift for Gibson. Cats are precious and must have fluffy comfy pillows to sit on. Ooh. like ooh as in cute face, but I like to say ooh anyway. Sorry if that triggers you. Oh, hey, that's really nice of you. I'm sure he'll appreciate it. See, he has the capacity to love. It's not a human, but it's a step, even though it's not a human. It is not nice. It is a hateful act, a baleful rejection of cats being subject to rough and unpleasant surfaces. Sure, whatever. How am I paying for this stuff? I do not have vast and incalculable funds for this resource acquisition, as I view the very concept of money as a hateful thing. But I do have a small stipend you may utilize, and if you are frugal in your dealings, you may retain any remaining currency. Oh, so I could actually have, like, I can have money in this game. Keep the tip. Got it. So if I steal every item on your list, I can keep the whole thing? I do not have time for games and shenanigans. I desire my acquisitions. You will comply with the purchasing thereof. At the very least, please minimize your crimes today. I expose you to enough risk already. No need for needless risks on such a simple job. Oh, that's no fun. Fine. I'll buy stuff. Good. Now go forth and enact the will of hate within the marketplace of goods and or services. Okay, let's do this. No costumes, no gadgets, no crime. Well, minimal crime, reasonable crime, mundane crime at best. I know I've come up against some tough challenges during my life, but this may be the most epic one yet. The challenge of not being astoundingly bored buying ordinary things with ordinary money all the ordinary day long. I feel kind of bad for dragging you along in this one. No, I'm the one who picked this one, sweetheart. Usually I can put on a grand show for your amusement, but today? Nope. But that's the challenge, isn't it? Finding a way to make this mundane trip a real adventure. I'm honestly okay with you having a nice chill day. You deserve some time off from death-defying action. Yeah, this is really not what I came here for. I'm just gonna zone out over here until you're done. But that's the challenge, isn't it? Finding a way to make this mundane trip a real adventure. I don't think she wants time off. She doesn't feel like she needs time off. Finding a way to make this a mundane trip a real adventure. Okay, but like, it's shopping. How can shopping ever be an adventure? Wait, no. Black Friday. That was a thing for a time, wasn't it? Before people realized throwing hands over a 10% discount is silly. I doubt this is going to become a life or death struggle for survival, but we'll see. Shopping spree. Casing the joint. Nice. No, wait, no, that doesn't work. This isn't a heist, and there's no joint to case. How about this instead? The perfectly legal spending of currency. Nice. Makes my skin crawl just thinking about it, but yeah, that's more accurate. Crime rating. Oh, I should explain something before we start.